we'll go ahead and get started then. I appreciate all of y'all coming today. We're here today to discuss the outcome of the case involving 6-year-old Gracelynn Vick. I would ask that you bear with me. It's been an emotional week for not just myself, but for my whole team. As I'm sure you all know, on Sunday, April 13th, 2025, Harrison County deputies responded to F. Taylor Road in reference to 6-year-old Gracelynn being reported missing by a family at the residence. During the search for Gracelynn, she was located in the vicinity of the residence inside a barrel and determined to be deceased by unknown causes. Here's what we found through our investigation. There are absolutely no signs of foul play. The residence had security cameras that covered the area where the barrel was located. After viewing the video multiple times, it was determined that while playing outside, Gracelynn went inside the barrel herself and closed the lid from the inside, which caused the lid to be stuck and trapped Gracelynn inside the barrel. During the review of the video, I saw that nobody else ever walked to the area Gracelynn was located until after the family began searching. There was no way to get to that area without coming into the view of the camera, and all family and volunteers in the area of that barrel at any time were not seen tampering with it. We also saw Gracelyn's mother came outside, noticed Gracelynn and notified her family within minutes. The results of the autopsy further backed up this evidence. There were no signs of trauma, sexual abuse, or neglect. The exact cause of death is still under investigation by the medical examiner's office, and we expect a full report to be filed in the coming months. Based on our forensic recreation of the incident, which we did twice, by the way, we believe that with the heat index on April 13th, Gracelynn would have experienced a combination of heat stress and limited oxygen supply inside the barrel, which would have led to her death. This effect would be similar to that of a child being stuck in a hot car during the summer. This was a tragic event that has shaken our community. Hopefully this clarifies some of the many rumors we have seen throughout social media, and we as a community can give the Vick family space and time to grieve this loss. I'm going to open it up for questioning. I would ask that you consider that the Vick family is still grieving, so just keep that in mind when you do ask your questions.
Sheriff, first question, would you, through the autopsy report, was there an estimate of time frame, how long she was in the barrel for? I'm not necessarily asking the approximate time, but it's like as far as when the oxygen went out.
No, we're still waiting for some of those tests to return, so I don't have that information in front of me right now.
Thank you.
Sheriff, when did you receive the video that clarified that she had called out?
So we obtained the video footage that night, but we weren't able to review it right then.
Was there indications that it was a combination? Was there sweat? Was she covered in sweat?
There were indications of that. And just to give you some insight, again, we recreated this twice. The barrel was a food type barrel for livestock, and the lid was a 2-piece lid. And the only way that lid could have been in the position that it was in would be from the inside of the barrel.
What do you mean by the inside of the barrel?
So the only way that the lid could have been in the position that it was in would have been from the inside of the barrel. There would have been no way to put it in that position from the outside of the barrel.
Meaning that she pulled it shut.
Right. Well, it would have had to have been pushed. I'm not going to speculate, but based on our opinion, that's how it would have happened.
Well, by the position of her body, can you tell that she had tried to get out? Or?
There was no way to determine that. Yeah. You know, again, you know, we were dealing with a 6-year-old child, so I'm not sure that, you know, she would have even thought that.
Approximately how far away was that barrel from the home?
Rough estimate, probably 50 feet from the back door.
How thick is the barrel? Would you have been able to hear any sounds coming from it?
I mean, it was, I can't remember the exact dimensions, 48 gallons, maybe?
58 gallons.
58 gallon, it was a 58-gallon barrel. And it was a hard plastic barrel.
Is it a barrel similar, is it a pickling jug? I mean, is it a pickling barrel?
I'm not familiar with a pickling barrel. You know, the lid to it was approximately this big around.
Get it screw on and
Yeah,
come on?
right,
Okay.
yes, yeah. So a 2-piece lid, so I guess you would be correct. Mhm.
What about this and being able to hear any sound from the barrel?
I think by the point that we arrived on scene that we wouldn't have, I think at that point we wouldn't have heard anything from the inside of the barrel. That's just my opinion, of course.
Well,
But it was a very thick barrel.
Well, I was just wondering about maybe her family before you got there.
And the official cause of the thing would be asphyxiation.
Well, that hasn't returned yet.
And this when you came in, you were talking about how you were describing what it came to
Being left in a hot water in the summer.
Can you address how speculation, rumor, and judgment and social media affects an investigation and affects the family going through something like this?
We're all, and I understand in the heat of the moment, a lot of people say a lot of things that I don't think that they necessarily mean. But you know, people put these things out on social media, and it makes it hard for the family to grieve, and it causes a lot of ill feelings amongst one another. So I would say that it doesn't necessarily affect our investigation, because the facts are the facts.
And can you talk about what the next steps are now in this investigation?
Well, again, I can't talk about that. It's still open. You know, we're going to be waiting for the final reports from the medical examiner.
Sheriff, have you heard, just on a side note, I think we would all want to honor the family's request. Would they have a problem if the community came out to support them at the service, or do we have any idea?
I would think that they would welcome that. I can't speak for them, but if it were me, I would. And I appreciate that.
And
I have no idea. You know, I appreciate the community's support on this. When we arrived on scene, there were several members of the community that were there. You know, if I had to guess, there were 30 to 40 members of the community that were there that came out to help. Search and rescue came out. You know, I had officers that were off duty that got in their patrol cars and come down there to help. You know, it's a tragic accident, and you know, again, it has been an emotional week for us all here. You know, this young girl. You know, I have a personal connection through my granddaughter because they went to school together. They were friends. So this is it's been rough on my family and the people that work here. Anything else?
Any suggestions to the public as far as trying to put stuff out there that could offend the family? I mean, do you have anything to help reduce the level of scrutiny that people have?
You know, I think based on what I've put out today, you know, the facts are the facts. I think we should respect the family, let them grieve, and just let it be there.
And you said that there was video of her crawling into the barrel?
So, as far as the video footage itself, and it's kind of hard to explain, but you can see everything around the barrel itself. There's something blocking the actual view of the barrel, but you can see everything around it. There's no doubt in our mind that she crawled in there herself.
And this was like a home security video?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Where was that camera located on the neighbor's house?
It wasn't. It was on their house.
Oh, it was on their own.
Yeah, it was on their own house. All right. Thank y'all so much for coming today.